Hello. Good morning. Are you awake? Good. Long drive from home? Sort of, right? So we'll try to keep you awake after that long drive. First of all, let's go by procedure. Welcome to the Pocket CIO program. How many of you are coming for second time or third time? Okay, quite a few of them. For those of you who are coming again, I don't have to repeat things, but for those of you who are new, here are the rules of the game. Two-day program. All the presentations that are going to be made are already in your kit here. But like is with life, last minute changes, some presentations have changed. That's to ensure that you don't sleep through the presentations and then look at your notes. Okay? At the end of each presentation, there is going to be a short, quick test. You would have got the test sheet with you, right? Please ensure that you mark only one of the options. Don't take on all options saying that, okay, one of them has to be right. Okay? Anything else I need to tell them? Okay. Don't cheat. That's what the message was. In the afternoon, after lunch, we'll split this hall into two. There are two parallel sessions. You would have taken a choice of which session, track 1 or track 2 outside. So we'll put up the list here. So that track you'll have to split. Otherwise, it's all in this hall only. I hope the lunch will be good enough to keep you, to try and make you sleep. Then the speakers will try and keep you awake. With that, all the best. I'll hand over to Giri, Chief Editor, to conduct the program. Giri, over to you.
So thanks, Krishna Kumar, and welcome again, everybody, to this second Pocket CIO program in Mumbai. I think, as Krishna Kumar asked, some of you have already attended this last year. So for people who have attended last year, you know about this program. But for those who haven't, so today, the entire day, we'll have a series of technology sessions. The technology sessions are intended to update you about some latest developments in various areas. Some of you, of course, who are working in those areas might find it very familiar, but we have tried to have some very good speakers here, very senior people with a lot of experience. So please be sure to ask them any questions. So about the idea behind organizing this program is to help senior IT professionals like you get updated on the latest technology, the trends, some practical issues about dealing with those problems. So that is the idea of the Pocket CIO. So please do ask them whatever questions, whether during the session. In case you don't find time during the session, then please catch them outside during the breaks. They will be here and they will be happy to address all these queries and questions that you may have. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for today. He is Mr. Nitin Bhandari, Associate Vice President for New Products and Partnerships with Vodafone India. Nitin has extensive experience in the telecom industry. He's a speaker on a lot of international forums and he's also chaired a few conferences. So I'm very pleased to invite on stage Mr. Nitin Bhandari.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So today I wanted to share some insights on the recent trends and innovation in communications and IT. The trends that you could effectively leverage to foster innovation in your organization and become the change agent across the organization, which is a step towards owning the CIO role. So let me pretty much start with a flashback to 2000. So in 2000, how did the world look like? And I've taken pretty much a real life example from a cola vendor. Okay. Now, they used to have these vending machines. Pretty much, if you look at it, the process has got enough number of manual handoffs. Okay, so a manual audit in a week or every 2 weeks will determine if the vending machine has run out of cola and once it determines it, okay, once the person determines it, he would email the report at the end of the day. Then the report goes to the warehouse, inventory checked on the server, a truck is filled and the truck has got a predetermined route, and then it's like whether the inventory is available or not in the vending machine is pretty much basis the best effort. Now, the role of a CIO then was be the custodian of IT assets, so pretty much the middle piece. Now, what has changed in 2013, and it's an example from the same cola vendor, okay, and we work with this guy. So he now has these M2M based sensors in his cola machines, which detects if it is about to run out of cola, it's already run out of cola, sends a message sends electronic message to the warehouse, the inventory checked, the cola bottles is filled into the vending machine. Now the cola bottles are filled into the trucks. The truck is given the most optimized route, and then the sensor confirms that the vending machine has been stocked. So it's no longer on best effort basis. Okay, so if I look at the role of the CIO, no longer limited to the centralized IT assets, rather it's pretty much the measurable business impact, because the CIO now is determining if there is 100% service space utilization or as much as possible customer experience is optimal or not, and that kind of delivers the right cash flow into the organization and the revenues. So if you look at it, CIO here is no longer just playing the role of an IT custodian, rather he is pretty much playing the role of a business leader. Now all this is past to present. Now what could happen in the future? And I wanted to talk about three mega trends. They are kind of happening today as we speak, and they have the potential to pretty much shape up the future phase of our businesses and our enterprises. So the first trend is about mobile, and the future is not really the mobile. While we most of us think that mobile is there, we have to mobilize assets in the organization. The future is not really about mobile. The future is about mobility, and there is a subtle difference between the two. To bring out the difference, let me take you to the early days of internet. Okay, so when about 15 years ago, when the internet phenomena caught up, and there were a number of organizations which put up their web pages on the internet. Okay, but there were only very few organizations which were able to translate their presence on internet into a productive asset for the company, and even a fewer who were able to monetize it. Okay, so while every company has got a web page now, there are only few which have monetized it. Same story got replayed in the era of social networks. Okay, so presence on Twitter or presence on Facebook was not equivalent to setting up a consistent channel with your customers. So that the two were different. Same way, mobile is like nuts and bolts. How you use your mobile to generate new business models, to generate new ways of reaching your customers and so on, or even to even as simple as new ways to make payments is all about mobility, and that's where a lot of companies will either be successful in coming years or not. So if we look at it, we are already seeing some initial innovations here. We are seeing ways to transfer money, which was here through pretty much a banking thing, but now mobility is pretty much becoming a way to reach the bottom of pyramid segment. Is opening up new business models to do cash management, and I'll give you some real life examples as we move on, and I'll talk about a few case studies. Same way, mobility is now helping companies optimize their sales force, their people on the ground, and so on. And even if you look at the statistics, and I'm quoting Gartner here, tablets have grown 49.5% in 2012, and by 2015, 1 in 3 of all computer shift will be tablets. Okay, so computing is moving from large, window-sized PCs to keyhole-sized tablets. Not only that, now there are more tablet applications being manufactured, being developed versus PCs. Okay. So this was the first trend. Now let's talk about the second trend. Okay, so the second trend is computers as we know it are dissolving, are going away. Okay, so computers are dissolving into the environment, or in other words, computers are being taken out of computing. Now what this means is, just like we saw two phenomena in past 15 years which pretty much changed the face of humanity. The first phenomena was Internet of Systems, or Internet that we know. The second one was Internet of People, likes of Facebook and Twitter. The third phenomenon that's happening now is Internet of Things, or IoT. In short, it's also known as M2M. So effectively what will happen is, around us a lot of devices will get embedded with small or large computing power, be it connected cars, be it devices to check the temperature and so on. And this is something which will revolutionize the way businesses and their customers get connected. Okay, you have an opportunity to shape up the customer experience. You have an opportunity to kind of get into your customer's life cycle. Over last year, there were two innovations which were most talked about. Okay, the first one was Nest, the middle one here. So it's a thermometer which pretty much can remotely send you temperature readings, it can send you atmospheric readings and so on, and then you could turn on off your home appliances. The second one, which is more related to healthcare, is it's known as IBG glucometer. Okay, so it's a small attachment that you can put into your iPhone, and then it helps you monitor your blood glucose level. And because it's all based on software, it also helps you determine the trends, and then it moves the data back to your physician or hospital. Connected cars, we all know about it. So these trends, just like the way Internet of Systems and Internet of People shaped up the way businesses work, this is going to be the next phenomena. And there are varied numbers on the net, but most of the analysts are predicting that by 2020 there will be between 30 billion and 50 billion devices on the internet, connected to the internet. So that's going to be more than the sum addition of all PCs, smartphones put together. So all PCs, laptops, smartphones, tablets put together. In fact, that's many more than the population on the planet. So the Internet of Things is going to give reach into your customer's mind, into your customer's life cycle in a big way. And this is something that you could look at utilizing and shaping up your businesses, shaping up the way your businesses go forward. The third trend I wanted to talk about was about the diverse data flow that's available today. Okay. Now, until now and even today, more and more of data that we analyze within our organization comes from somewhere within the organization. Okay, so it is generated either by sales teams, or it is generated by our customers and so on. But then analysts are also saying that by 2020, the digital universe will be about 44 times than what it was in 2009, which basically means each of your organizations will have to equally handle so many times data, and it's going to be about 35 zettabytes of data. I don't even know how many zeros are there, but it's possibly a good number of zeros. And most of this data is not going to emerge from inside of your organization. It's going to be from outside. Okay, so the key thing there is going to be how you react to it, how you process it and react to it, so that your field force, your frontline staff could take action as quickly as possible. So the key thing is going to be how you can reduce the reaction time between something happening on the field and headquarters taking an action. Okay, key is going to be how you are able to get enough actionable intelligence in place for somebody to take a decision. And most of this data will constantly flow and change, so it's not going to be static data. So these were the three trends which I thought were kind of pretty much relevant to this forum. And like what we are seeing is that these technology-centric forces are pretty much driving business innovation. And while there will be this constant debate if Is it social behaviors that drive technology, or is it technology that drives social behaviors? And well, I'm not getting into debate here, but let's assume for now that it's a technology-centric force which are driving business innovation. And if so, who is best placed to lead this change? And the answer pretty much lies in the room here. It's most of us here who are best placed to lead the change, because this change is coming from technology. This change is coming from the technology forces. So this kind of gives us pretty much a unique advantage, right or wrong, a unique advantage for being the change agents and not just bring in new technologies, but also create the business impact within our organizations. And there is a survey which was conducted by Gartner earlier this year. Okay, and the key thing there was they had conducted a similar survey about 3 years ago, and the respective CEOs were asked, what is their expectation from their CIOs or their IT teams. That time, on number one was improving the IT application infrastructure, but when they were asked this year about the expectation, okay, if you look at it, the top 2 or 3 expectations are nowhere linked to IT. Okay, so the top expectation was, how can my IT department, how can my IT team help me increase my revenue? Okay. Now, by common logic, this possibly should have been priority of the sales or the marketing teams. But here they said, the priority that I want to put to my IT team is about increasing revenues, on how IT team could help us leverage the innovation that's happening in the industry and help us bring new businesses. The second one was about efficiency. Okay. Then it was reduce cost and everything else. So the top 2 ones, if I look at it, the expectation is to increase revenue and to decrease and to deliver efficiency as much as possible within the organizations. So if these are the priorities, that's where the opportunity arises, that you could be, you are best placed to be the harbinger of change across the C-suite, across the organizations, and so on. And now, if we have to make the change, then what's the best thing to do? Okay, so there are these 3 that are put together. So to create the impact, okay, so you should focus on 3 things. One is better operational agility, and I'll come into why you should focus on these 3. Second is about happy and connected employees. Third is improve customer engagement. And the reason why you see customer engagement as the third one is because if you have got happy employees, they will keep their customers happy. And if you have got the operational agility, you could respond to the dynamic nature. So operational agility also brings you competitiveness. It is operational agility is not just about reducing your cost, or it's not just about increasing the efficiency. It actually brings in competitiveness. Again, few numbers that comes out of global research, and more than 50% of the businesses worldwide, they believe that the ability to scale as well as converge IT and telecom infrastructure is vital to their success. Okay. And at the same time, while that is necessary, the same organizations also believe that by improving the workforce flexibility, you can improve the performance of the organization by 20%. So, which directly adds to your top line and bottom line. Second one, why happy customers? Well, happy customers do mean repetitive business, and the cost of bringing in a repetitive business is lower than the cost of generating new business. Now, I mean, all of us, while we work in businesses, all of us also happen to be customers of some utilities, some organizations, so on. And when let's say one of your utilities is not performing or is not performing to your expectation, and you call them, you expect the response to be delivered to you in certain hours. So globally, 70% of customers, they expect a response in less than 2 hours of being called. And at the same time, more and more of business leaders, they believe that the innovations can propel better customer experience. So it's about how do you fuse the two together It's not that you can eliminate all the troubles. Troubles will be there, but customers will be more happy if you could revert to them as quickly as possible, rather than saying, "Oh, this is not a problem," or "Sorry, I do not know about this problem, and you are the first one to tell me about this problem." Third one is about flexible workforce or happy employees, which, like we saw in the last slide, it increases productivity. I think everybody recognizes, and the first quote is not really any surprise. People are critical to the success of any organization, and at the same time, mobile working does improve the work-life balance. While to some of us it may seem like that mobile working means working late at night or working late at homes, but that is something that I believe we kind of put ourselves in the situation. Nobody really forces us to work at home. So now I wanted to take you through few case studies where we have implemented the trends we discussed and the benefits that those organizations got from those. So the first one is the case study from a leading automobile manufacturer, a two-wheeler manufacturer in the country. Now, until about a few months ago, they were providing a company mandated handset to their employees. Okay, and most of the employees were carrying a second handset for their personal use. Okay, be it data surfing, be it internet surfing, or making voice calls. So what we did was we provided them with a MDM solution. We provided them with a mobile device management solution, which eliminated the use of second device. So with the same device, okay, which was no longer mandated, and the employees were free to buy their own devices. Okay, one could protect the company data, whereas leave all the options of using the personal space to the employees. Okay, this so while the employees were certainly happy, this actually also helped the organization save money. How? So if you look at if it is a company mandated device and the company is providing the device, let's say if you are a 1,000 employee business, and typically the lifespan of these devices is about 3 years. Okay, so if I look at the cost of 20,000 rupees per device across 3 years, you're actually saving about 20 million rupees. Now you can use part of this money to reimburse your employees. Okay, so like we have at Vodafone, where we can go and buy any devices for our own use, and we get a part reimbursement from the organization. So you could implement these schemes in your organization. So you are no longer forcing the employees to adapt and adopt the devices which you are mandating. You are allowing them, you are giving them a free hand in buying their own devices. At the same time, you are doing the part reimbursement. So it's a win-win for employee as well as for yourself. The second case study, now I spoke about Internet of Things. So what we did, and this is a story from cola manufacturer. It's all splash here, so I need not name it. Now, by nature of this business, these cola bottles, they go to small villages, to large towns, to every nook and corner of the city. Okay. So typically the way it works is there are these truck rolls which happen every day or every week and so on, depending upon the area, and they go and refill the exhausted stock. Okay. So what we did was, but then because most of these operations, especially the delivery operations, they are outsourced, the cola company almost has no control on how this is being run by these outsourced agencies. So what we did was we put in these location trackers into the vehicles, as well as we provided a solution whereby the drivers of these vehicles could be tracked. Okay. Now this effectively means that the driver on the way of delivery, if the driver is taking a 2-hour break or 3-hour break to watch a movie or to visit his home for a short nap, okay, this will show as an alarm on the internet portal. Okay. So we provided a portal to this company, which we integrated with the intranet portal. So alarm will get generated if the guy has moved out of a geofence range. So let's say if this delivery truck is supposed to be in Andheri, and if the driver moves to somewhere in the eastern somewhere in the eastern Mumbai, or outside the geofence range, there's an alarm that will go off. Okay. Or if there's a predetermined route and the driver strays more than few hundred meters, and this could be defined as a business rule, the alarms will go off again. Okay, so just the very knowledge of these drivers that now they are being tracked help them improve the efficiency, help them improve the number of truck rolls they were doing every day. The third one is about M-Pesa. Now, while in simple terms, this looks like a money transfer solution. Now, the way we provided solution to a microfinance company, and by nature of their business, most of the transactions were smaller and happened to be in villages and in rural hinterlands. Okay. Now, in a number of these areas, and this story is from the northern India, northwestern India. So by way of the conditions there is always a probability that this guy will get robbed of the cash because he's carrying hard cash. Okay. In those villages, we don't do e-transfers, we don't do drafts and checks and so on. Okay, so the way the microfinance companies work there is a guy will go and collect a small amount of cash on a weekly basis, monthly basis, or even on a daily basis. Okay, but when he's returning back to the branch in the evening, he will, while all the sums are smaller, but those sums end up becoming a pretty large sum, and he is actually carrying a large sum. He goes and deposits it with his branch, which is again not connected to any network. Okay, so then the branch guy, on a 3-day basis or a 5-day basis, goes and collects it to the district HQ or a larger branch, and so on. So the time when the money comes into the network to the time headquarters knows it, there is always between a week or 10 days of difference. So the way we did it was with M-Pesa, the Vodafone agency network is set up, and you would have seen a lot of these M-Pesa boards on the road, and also in the Vodafone shops. Okay, so the way we did it was after every 3 or 4 collection points, this guy will go and visit the Vodafone M-Pesa shop. Okay, give his cash, get the money electronically transferred, and because the money gets converted from cash to electronic, okay, this could be tracked, and the headquarters knows immediately about their cash position, and then they could use it to give more loans. So we help them with cash collection, we help them with the aggregation. At the same time, while they could have done it with their own dedicated branch network, with this, they no longer need a dedicated branch network, and this saves them a lot of money, which then they can pass on to their customers, or they can partly pass on to their customer through reduced interest rates and so on. So the next one I wanted to talk about is the metro solution. This is about how do you make your customers happy, and while a number of places customer experience is thought of as a negative business case and you possibly don't get revenue, in this case this helped generating the revenue. So in Bangalore, when the metro was launched, the issue was not many people were still traveling by metro, they were traveling by alternate modes of transport. Okay, so what was done was we started providing free Wi-Fi in metro, which kind of, so if you were to buy a season pass and so on, you actually get a free Wi-Fi, but if you just buy a daily ticket, you don't get a free Wi-Fi. Okay, so this, while customers were happy that they were getting free Wi-Fi, this also meant that we were changing the habit of people. You go and buy a monthly pass, and because people had bought monthly pass, then they will stop using the alternate mode of transfer. So this was something where we used 3G Wi-Fi and the MPLS bandwidth to provide them access to high-speed internet. The next story I wanted to talk about, where we pretty much leverage our global networking capability, is that of Cisco, and we kind of connect Cisco offices globally through a global WAN for unified communications and for collaboration services. So the way this helped them was, They need not have multiple touch points with service providers in different countries. Rather, they deal with a single service provider. And this helps them save on not just the vendor management cost, but also improve the efficiency of their communication networks. So, a few of the case studies, and while I could have spoken about a number of other case studies, we could effectively help you build a competitive edge, move up in the organization, create the impact across the organization and for your business. So that's pretty much it from my side. Happy to take questions from you.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm Piyush from Technova. You mentioned about the interesting experience with Pepsi in terms of putting up a tracker, GPS tracker. How has been, because we are also trying to look at reaching out to that type of a solution. Two key challenges which are there, and we wanted to understand as to how Vodafone could address this. One is you come across various agencies, transport agencies coming out with their logistics, and many of them don't have the GPS. So how do you make a provision of a GPS onto that?
Sure.
And the second is how do you address the driver's habit of maybe switching off the GPS?
True. So the first thing we did was, and add to it, I will add another challenge. The GPS handsets are always costlier, or the GPSs are costlier. So what we did was we did not use GPS. We used network triangulation. Now that's a unique advantage we as a mobile operator have, because we do know at any point of time, even without GPS, where you are located, because there are 3 cell towers in the vicinity, 3 or more, and hence we could pretty much come down to not an accurate positioning, but within few meters. So what we did, because what we also figured out was if it is GPS, now most of the warehouses happen to be in basements, especially in India, and hence GPSs won't work. So we used, so here we used what we call as a cell tower technology. Okay. Now this means you don't need any specialized GPS devices, and it will work on any mobile handset, even if it is a 500 rupee feature phone. So as long as a phone can catch signal, yes, it will work. Now coming, so one, these devices get fitted onto the vehicles. Second, you are not giving a new handset to the driver, rather you are, well, you take an authorization from him, but you are packing his own mobile phone. Now while this guy can always switch off the mobile phone, and that any technology could be switched off, but if it is switched off for more than a certain amount of time, this will also flash as a beep. This will flash as an alert. So now, at least when the driver returns back to the go down, you can ask him, what were you doing for this amount of time and why was your phone switched off? So while he may dodge your questions once or twice, but then the very knowledge that he's being tracked will help him change his habit. So there is not really to penalize them, but this will help change some of the behaviors and maybe be more accurate. There's a very knowledge that he is possibly being tracked, and his bonuses or the money, the payment that he gets at the end of the day could vary, could be dependent upon his behavior.
Good morning. I'm Ravish Jala from hospitality industry. My question related to the metro project which you did. It's a nice project. Just wanted to know two things. First is you mentioned about the user authentication and the session management, which is centrally managed by the, hopefully by the metro authorities. So how because it's a public network, so how the authentication been built? The second thing, as per the cyber law or the act, you have to store minimum 1 year of the log on site. So how that been managed on the public network?
So one, it is while obviously this is a public network, the person is logging on, so person is provided a username and password. Okay, so, which means that, and the information is traveling through our network, through our internet gateways and access points. Because it is traveling through our access points, that is where, just like my ISP, whenever I log, they actually do have a record, though even that network is public network. So here, just that 3G is acting as a public network. Secondly, about on-site, so the kind of agreements we do, and it's also very similar to how we use broadband at home, very much similar. So while it is Metro which is providing the service to the end customer, you can say pretty much Metro is outsourced the service to us. We are acting on behalf of Metro and providing this outsourced service. So the logs are stored at our site, not really Metro's site, but it's accessible to them just like any other outsourced service. Just like how we are possibly getting internet in this hotel today.
One last.
Hello. Hi, this is Shantanu from Mahindra Finance. Actually, I have a query on this M-Pesa.
Sure.
You told that the actual money will be converted into electronic mode.
Yeah.
And then it will be transferred to your account. Whether it is real-time transfer or it will be transferred one day.
It's a real-time transfer, and we've tied up with ICICI Bank. We effectively, so the way it works is pretty much similar to how the e-topper works on your prepaid phones. So whenever you top up your phone and give cash to this guy, your phone gets topped up almost immediately. Well, they may be delaying you getting the SMS if the SMS network is getting choked, but the top-up happens immediately. We are using a similar mechanism, and because all the Vodafone locations, all the agent shops and everything is already networked and linked, because these guys already do prepaid connections, they are already linked to our central system. Okay, so when you give cash, effectively what the agent does is from his phone, he transfers the money from his account to the guy who is giving cash to that guy's account, and that guy, by sending an SMS, transfers from his account to the agency account. So they are not actually transferring the money. What they are doing is they are sending an SMS so that in the central pool, the money is just being marked from one person to another person or one company to another company.
It will be accounted in the same day. No, it will reflect in my account in the same day. Immediately. And the second question is
so very similar to how you will do with IMPS. So if you transfer on IMPS, so while NEFT takes 2-3 hours because it runs in a batch mode, IMPS is real time and immediate, very much similar. And the money is actually not being held by Vodafone at any point of time. The money is being held by ICICI Bank, because as per banking regulations, we cannot hold money. So the money is always in an ICICI Bank account, whether that's Vodafone's ICICI Bank account or your ICICI Bank account.
And my second question is like, Pan India, you are present or you are presently?
So this has been launched. So as of today, this has been launched in most of the eastern corridor, okay, all the eastern states and the western states.
Eastern and western.
Yeah, by December we will be there in all the northern ones, and by March next year we will be there pan India.
One more query I have. Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
That is regarding this tracking through GPS. My question is whether I can track my vehicle and other assets, but whether tracking of manpower is legally allowed.
It is legally allowed if you take an authorization from the person. So you have to.
Yeah, that means I have to take a consent from the person that
yes.
I need to track you.
Yes.
That is my question.
Yeah, and that you can. So you have to take a written statement from them. It's a single page format that we have, and you do need to give it to us, otherwise we cannot track anybody on your behalf.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
So thank you, Nitin, for as usual a wonderful presentation. I think there were lots of questions that were being asked. So Nitin will be around for a while, so please walk up to him, if you need any clarifications or you need to ask him more questions about how some of these technologies have been implemented, how they are working, and how perhaps you can use them for your own organization in different ways. I'm sure they have a lot of innovative case studies which I think Nitin can share with you. He has mentioned a few here, but they've got lots more and they can definitely help you with implementing some of these solutions.